Hey, this is Seth with In Demand Career. I show people how to get life-changing jobs in digital marketing with no previous experience or education. And that includes my very special guest today, Eugene, who is 38 years old and spent a lot of his life in sales-related jobs, not really enjoying or finding fulfillment in those jobs until he found digital marketing. He took my course, hustled very, very hard, and got his first PPC digital marketing job that he loves and has now found a field that he is really passionate about and knows is going to be his future. So this is a great video for all my viewers who are not in their 20s, but are maybe looking for a career change. I think you'll find his story very inspiring. Thanks for being here, Eugene.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Seth.
Awesome. Same here. So why don't you tell people a little bit about your current job that you have right now?
Yeah. So I work at in a healthcare group. So I'm an in-house digital marketer, and specifically I'm a PPC specialist. So mainly Google Ads, but also other platforms we use as well.
Great. And do you like your job? How's it going?
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. So, it has been a great journey leading me to this point. I tried for a long time to find a career that I'm really excited about, that has a future, that has remote working opportunities, and this is one that I'm really, really passionate about. And also, it's a job that I can make an impact on the business every single day with what I do. So there's a great level of fulfillment that comes out of that job.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. And I know that's a really key point. I know people are gonna really appreciate that when they hear about your journey. Before we get started though,
Mhm.
I'm just curious,
Yeah.
you live in Scotland, but where are you from originally and how did you end up in the UK?
Yeah. So I was born in Albania. I grew up in Greece, and uh, I've done many jobs in my life. I've traveled a lot, trying to chase my dreams. Most of the jobs were sales related or business related in general, but nothing really I didn't find anything that was really fulfilling or financially was promising. Um, until I moved to the UK in 2018. So I got a job in a marketing agency, which was basically promotion or sales. It was a good entry level job for the field. I did enjoy it, and I didn't enjoy that much, but it gave me a greater appreciation about marketing. So this is what made me want to get involved with marketing.
One second.
And
I just want to
yes.
interrupt for one moment just to clarify things for people. So you
Yeah.
hear marketing agency. So marketing is as you'll talk about, very broad term, means a lot. There's a lot of
Mhm.
different types of marketing. Digital, what we teach here, all the success stories you've seen, the job he has now, this is all managing digital, online ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, Meta ads, these types of things. When you said your position at the marketing agency, when you say promotions and sales, that's more like getting on the phone or even, physically going and having sales calls.
Yeah.
A lot of yeah, a lot of people don't understand the distinction between that. A lot of marketing majors, unfortunately, they come out of school and that's the only kind of job they can really get is something where you're at an event like handing out flyers or you're actually physically doing face-to-face sales. Nothing wrong with that, but it is definitely not digital marketing. But it sounds like it at least gave you a sense of what marketing is and got you more interested in it. So what happened from there?
Yes. So once I moved, I switched positions in the same company during the pandemic to an online team where I got to meet other PPC professionals, SEO professionals. So this is what I got interested in, the digital part of marketing. And I also saw the benefits of working remotely, that field offered to me, and I decided to enroll to a university course here in Scotland. So this is why I moved here, because here I could apply for a government grant. So if you fulfill certain criteria, you can apply for a government grant, because as especially Americans know, college and university it can be really expensive. But even that wasn't enough for me, because I knew that even with that degree, I wasn't going to have a guaranteed job, essentially. And so I started looking for other other ways I could complement my skills. Now, that became a lot more urgent to me when I was made redundant this year. So basically the team that I was working, the entire department was dissolved. And so I was made redundant, and I decided that I have to go online and look for courses to complement my skills. So, and I stumbled upon a video by I think his name is Shane.
Yeah.
What's his last
Being
name?
hummus.
Shane Hummus? Yes. So there was a video of his about the best online courses, and the best online course in that video was Seth's course, and this is how I decided to enroll to the course. I can go into more depth if you want to
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that.
No, I will. I'll ask you, of course. Yeah, people always want to know more details, but it's a good point. I mean, you make a good point. You reinforce what I've said again and again. A marketing degree is just not enough. Um, I don't know what they're teaching in Scotland, but in the US, it's still very outdated. They're not really getting you into digital. They're not teaching you about a
The
resume.
same.
Yeah, it's very high, like it's very basic, it's long, and thankfully not I mean, if you got a grant, you didn't have to pay for it, but a lot of these kids who come out with marketing degrees, that's what I was going to say before, they end up getting jobs like the one you had previously. They'll see a marketing job, but it's really like handing out flyers at the farmers market, or some like go to the Staples Center in LA and hand out stuff, or do sales, which is a different skill set. It's not a bad skill set, it's just not marketing. And then as you pointed out, sorry, I'm outside, there's like a fly here, that you were let go, so you were unemployed, so obviously the urgency level went up, and that's when you found the course. So you got the course, and how did things go once you got the course?
So let me tell you something before we get into the course, because there are a lot of people who are thinking about it. Nowadays, the online learning or educational industry is so huge, and people are overwhelmed with choices. And now you've got all these really well-known branded universities. They sell digital courses as well. But what was really distinct about your course, it was the only course that I found uh, whose purpose was not just to give you a badge so you can throw it on your LinkedIn or anything, but it was to actually get people to find their first job. So it's the only course that actually said that you will learn most of the things about digital marketing by doing it. So therefore, we need to concentrate on getting people their first job in digital marketing. So this is what made me actually decide to enroll to your course, and it was really, really exciting for me. So I went through the course initially very quickly because I was so it was also the urgency of being unemployed at the moment, but also the materials that really I was really interested in them. And then I went back and followed them like with a slower pace. I went through the whole curriculum. I did all the steps as instructed in the course, all the assignments in the course. At the same time, I watched all the videos from your ex-students on the course, and also complemented my knowledge by watching videos online, reading whatever I can do, just to get myself at a better position than the competition, let's say. And if you want, I can tell you what was the most important thing for me that I learned about your course after I started it, and why I think it was so important and so impactful in my um, job hunting
Yeah,
journey
I mean,
after that.
Yeah, you've been very articulate. You talked about how you did the course, and then maybe just also, you can be a little more specific for people when you say you did the course. Like, did you build a website? Did you find some free clients to work with? Did you start to get some actual hands-on experience? And what was that like? And then come back to
Yes,
that point.
absolutely. So for me, the most important thing that this course achieved, and the fundamental difference between whatever else is out there, is the fact that it solves for me the experience paradox. So that is something that people getting into a new career or trying to find an entry-level job, or a graduate job, are faced with that difficulty, that you need to have experience to get a job, but unfortunately you need to have a job to gain experience. So you are trapped in that situation. So this course solved that issue for me by encouraging people who don't have the opportunity to get experience from friends or family to actually build their own website. So this is what I decided to do. I decided to build my own website. I built it from scratch. I applied on the website all the techniques that we learned in the course, both when it comes to PPC, but also SEO. And that became a really, really strong card in my job interviews from there on. So especially when they were asking me, what is your greatest achievement? I was really upfront with them, telling them that I've done very limited freelance work, mainly helping friends and family. But my greatest achievement was building and running my own website from scratch, and having a certain metrics and achievements when it comes to SEO and PPC. So I would list them, what I've done to achieve on month one, on month two, on month three, and that gave the recruiters uh, let's say it gave them, it painted a better picture of what I am and what I can do, even if it's for an entry level job where the experience is limited.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you just said like pretty much everything perfectly, which is that, like I tell guys in the course, you can work on a friend's or family website, or you can even find a local business, but you do want to build your own website. And that again, that's how I got my first job. I had only built my own website. A lot of my students only had their own website, but you own that experience with the excitement. That's what you need. That's what everybody needs to do. You don't, you don't have to embellish. You don't have to say you've managed, $100,000 in ad spend. Take what seems to be a small achievement is still a huge achievement. And I just, since we keep talking about college, I still look at the Full Sail digital marketing curriculum. Full Sail is a private university in the US that charges, I think, like $60,000 for their 2 or 3 year program. It's absurd. And they do not
Wow.
even build a website or run an ad until they're like 2 years into this program. And all they're doing is everything you did in a month or two. And it blows my mind. So that's just one way to illustrate the fact that you still will stand out if you even just build the website and run a few ads and generate your experience. And you're obviously, you're proof of that with the results that you got. But you were mentioning, that you would say this in interviews. So why don't you just back up a little bit and let's talk about how did you
Mhm.
go from having no experience to taking the course to then getting job interviews? You obviously followed the instructions about the resume. What was it like? Were you getting responses? Were they saying, "Oh, you don't have agency experience, we don't want to talk to you"? Like what was going on?
Yeah. So as you said, I went through the entire course. I did every single step as instructed in the course. The resume part, or the CV part, as we call it here, was extremely, extremely important, because that would be the first door that has to be opened. And they would allow recruiters to actually ask for a second chance to you. So I revamped completely. I followed the templates that were provided, and the advice that was provided through the course. That was revolutionary for me, by the way, because it actually forced me and also the recruiters to concentrate on exactly what I can do in a detail. So I removed all the fluff regarding my previous jobs, which is not important. I added all the skills that I gained on all the platforms that are used in the course, and the software that is used in the course, which was really impactful in the interview process. And once I finished the course, I started applying. And then initially I was getting through the first interview stages, which told me that the CV part was working really well. Now, after the first interviews, because I hadn't applied for a digital marketing or a PPC or SEO related job before, there was a lot of things I had to learn from interview to interview. So I would get a lot of rejections. At the beginning, I was going through the first interview, but I would get rejected. And then I would go back and do a retrospective on the interview, what went wrong, what I could improve. I was keeping a lot of notes. And I started learning a little bit about the market and the local market, because although the field is the same, both in the US and the UK, there are some local differences in terms of what businesses might ask or might be interested in. I realized that not all businesses are focusing on the same thing. So some businesses want, apart from the technical side, they want more client management experience. Some businesses might concentrate more on the communication side. Um, some businesses are more willing to onboard younger people. Some businesses are willing to onboard older people. But I had to keep going. And at every interview stage, every failed interview for me was a huge learning moment. And I kept going, I kept going, I kept going. I reached a point after four months that I went through the final stage. I would do usually on the third stage, they will ask you to do a test or a task. And I went through a really, really important interview. I thought I would get the job in January. I also asked the help of one of our colleagues in the Seth in the course to help me out with that. I didn't get that job. I was so demoralized, but I kept going. I kept going. I kept applying until I found a job until I found this job. I found a company that really, really appreciated my skills, really appreciated my work experience prior to that, and was willing to actually teach me the job. So it's a graduate job. And they promised me that the job would be, the position and the salary will be reviewed. So at the moment, I'm at around £30,000 per month, which was a lot more than what the average job was offering here for an entry-level PPC role. That role, that job, that position and the salary is going to be reviewed after a few months. And it's a hybrid role, so I work one day per week at the office and 4 from home. Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's fantastic, man. I mean, you summed up a lot of great points for everybody who's in the job search. It is a matter of just keeping your head up, and everybody could probably relate to that point where you thought you were going to get the job and you didn't, and it's okay. You need to hear that it means that just wasn't the right fit. The next, the best opportunity is still to come. And yeah, interviewing is the same thing. It's like it's just a matter of experience and practice. There is an interview section in the course. I get into it as, I try to get you guys as relaxed as possible. But some students now are, helping each other with mock interviews. But again, sometimes it's just a matter of, just numbers in a way. You keep going until you find that. And it sounds to me like this company is like really the best fit for you. So I just was curious,
Absolutely.
like, what was it like for you when you actually got the offer letter or the phone call? How did it go? What did it feel like?
So on the final stage of the interview, they gave me they gave me 2 documents full of data from a Google Ads campaign. This is something that students of the course will go through. And they asked me to make a presentation or make sense of that data and make some recommendations. So I made a presentation. At the final stage, the presentation was not that difficult. So this is something that someone can make through PowerPoint. There are tools online that can help people. The important thing is for students to understand uh, um, what is required by the task. You can put some work into it, and they were shocked initially, and I was shocked because they expected someone with much less experience than I had gotten in those 6 months that I went through the course. So expecting someone with much less experience and knowledge than I got. So, and during the interview, they told me, okay, that was nice. We have a few interviews for next week, so you can expect an answer from us after 10 days. And half an hour after the end of the interview, they just called me and they said, by the way, we loved you and you get the job. And yeah, it was really nice. And I really love my job. I love the company because they are also willing to work with young professionals. So we have other professionals in the company that recently joined, and they've switched careers. And yeah, and most of us are working from home, which is really great, which saves people a lot of money, and also it allows us time to pursue our interests, have a better work-life balance. And digital marketing is that field that can afford people the time to do whatever they want to do in life.
Well said. I mean, I don't think I have much to add to that. That's great. And that's awesome. That's an awesome feeling. It reminded me when I got my first job, I remember they said, we'll call you next week or something, end of the week. And they, the same thing they called. It wasn't right away. It was like a day later or something. But when you have that kind of connection, yeah, it's really fantastic. You have the freedom and flexibility of working from home. You love what you're doing. You like the people you work with. So I'm very happy for you, and I appreciate you sharing your story with everybody here. Um, is there,
Yeah.
I think we're going to start wrapping it up, but so is there anything else you want to say to me or anybody watching the interview right now?
Yeah, so first of all, I want to thank you so much for the course that you have created. I would encourage people who are still looking for something in their life, a purpose, a career, and they want that freedom and flexibility that the online world and especially digital marketing offers to check out the course and see if it works for them. And the course will provide the fundamentals, so there is work to be done on top of it, of course. But it will provide all the tools for people to actually start building their knowledge base and their experience, and hopefully get a really successful career in PPC or SEO.
Awesome, man. Uh, yeah, well said, well said. Thanks so much for again sharing your story with everybody. I'm sure everybody in the course or considering it is can relate to a lot of the stuff you said, and I'm just very happy for you. And and it's amazing. It's just the beginning.
Thank
I
you.
mean, you change careers, in the middle of your career cycle, but in a few years you'll be even further along, and I'm excited that the real thing is that you found something that you really like to do. I remember when I found this field, that's how I felt. I was like, at least I feel good about going to work in the morning. I don't feel like, I have to go to the office, and that has a certain value that it's hard to quantify. So I'm really happy you have that and you have this flexibility. Is it okay if I put your LinkedIn below the interview if people want to reach out to you with any questions?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm open. Anyone if they want to know, especially from people from the UK, which I'm more experienced in. Yeah, they can freely reach out to me. I'm
I,
happy to help.
I appreciate that, especially, yeah, because I do get a lot of questions from the UK. In fact, I think someone just posted in the Facebook
Mhm.
group, and I tagged about 10 or 15. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I remember the people in the UK. But recently, I just interviewed Bianca, who lives in Britain, and you live in
Mhm.
Scotland. and I've had quite a
Yeah.
few success stories in the UK recently. So we appreciate that. So guys, yeah, feel free to, send him a message on LinkedIn. Like with most of my students that do interviews, just remember he's busy working this job. So be patient. Yeah, man, it's been great connecting with you and catching up, and we'll stay in touch and talk in the future.
Awesome. Awesome. Nice talking to you, Seth.